Hello everyone. Let me get this here and welcome again to this channel. Just get this little bit down for the music. And there we go. Hello everyone. It's been a while. I think it was 2 weeks, I think, or 1 week, I don't know, since didn't do a stream. And that's because I had school and I was in exams. And that was a terrible, just terrible thing. But anyways, we've passed on that, and I'm excited again to get this uh yeah, get this on again. So let's just go straight at it. So again, let me just here. Yes, so as we are doing, we're still doing our changing history fanfiction, and I'm still need to know how many chapters there are going to be because as we said, we're planning to make it into half. And when we're half the fanfic, we're going to change to our third one that is called Heartbreaker. So, with no further ado, let's. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. So, let's recap. We're doing a reader X My Hero Academia various. Our name is going to be Athena, last name King. We were our chapter 23, class president. And let me just try to remember what happened. If I'm not wrong, like, okay, so we were reborn in My Hero Academia world. We have a quirk that is shadow based. We are friends with Midoriya. I think we're being friends back again with Kachan because I think we were friends, but then we split out because of plot. But I think we're getting friends again. Oh, we're also friends with Inasa. We're also friends, I think, with Denki. I don't remember if this was the fanfic which when we were with like in a date or it was the other of Bloodthirst. Well, anyway, I think. Oh, we also met Kirishima. I think we're friends with him. We met Kai. He killed us and then revived us, and I think we have trauma for that. We. Wait, no, what's more? I don't remember if this is no. I'm starting to. Oh, my head. Okay, so I think that's a good recap. Yeah, let's hope I'm not missing a how do you say yeah. Let's hope I'm not missing something else. Anyways, let's continue with this chapter 23. Class president. Look, it's my boy. It's Hanta. Okay, so sorry, yes, my voice is a little low. Um, so let's just. Yep. Sorry. Let's continue. No, let's start because we haven't continued since a week. Sorry. Chapter 23. What's happening to my tongue? Chapter 23. Class president. You, girl, can you tell us what Olma is like a teacher? Is like as a teacher? You bow, arms stiff as it. That's right, we're like the manners kid. We always bow into a perfect 30-degree angle. Okay, you bow, arms stiff at your side. The whole crowd of journalists is flashing cameras at you. Since everyone else avoid them like the plague, you can see why. In your previous life, you would have done that too. And the cameras are making you pretty nervous. But they ask you a question. Not replying would be so unbelievably rude. In this new life of yours, you've never been rude, not even while dealing with psychopathic murderers. Maybe you should review your priority. Maybe you should review your priorities. Oh right, sorry, I remember. We were Eraser's head first fan, and also Hawks. Yeah, I think that's like an important detail. or at least for me. Anyways, oh, my son is an enthusiastic and energetic teacher. I'm very happy he's guiding us in the path of heroism. He's a great model to emulate in the hope of creating a better future. I see, I see. The reporter scribbles everything down with passion akin, akin to like Yagami writing on the death note. Do you think it makes sense for him to be teaching, though? Won't that take him away his time of duty as a hero? This may be, you nod. But I think it's also a duty to educate the new generations to uphold the values he's representing right now. It could make the difference in the future heroes, in the heroes of the future. Oh, she grins, nodding rapidly. You're a very mature girl. Say, can you tell us about your other teachers too? Oh, well, they're all very good. Someone in particular? There is. You lower bashfully your eyes, but don't manage to stop yourself. There's Isawa Sensei. He might be very, well, unusual teacher, but I'm sure he cared about us. Also, if there only wasn't such a great age difference, I would I would care very much about something else, like whether he's making what? Whether he prefers making love in the bed or in the shower. The reporter puts a finger under her chin, humanly ponderously. Aizawa. Never heard of him. Is he a pro? Well. Just stop. Wait. Aizawa never wanted to receive attention from the press. Actually, he hates the press. What if this angers him? Furthermore, as you look at your watch and realize you're arriving, you risk us arriving late to the class. That would, and it's a crime just to think about it, disappoint Aizawa sensei. Absolutely unacceptable. I'm sorry, you bow. I will tell you more another time. I have to get to go. I have to get to go to class now. Oh, but the reporter throws their microphone in your face, taking a step forward. Please, just something more. I deeply apologize. Forgive me, but I truly must go. Wait a second, she insists, making you wonder whether you should hide in your shadow and disappear. Hey! A friendly hand lands on your shoulder. Need help? You blink at the unfamiliar appendage before looking up. Saruhanta is smiling at you, triangular green as laid back as always. He looks like such a chill guy. You feel a sudden urge to bum in his face and call him bro. Hello, Saru-san. You nod instead. How are you doing? He sweat drops, looking pointedly over your shoulder to the reporter who, momentarily surprised by his appearance, are now advancing him with her microphones thrust forward like a heavy spears. So brave, ready to die for their job. Hello, are you a student too? The woman asked. Can you tell us? Oh my gosh, there's a motorcycle outside my home. Shut up! Sorry. Hello, are you a student too? The woman asked. Can you tell us? Sorry. Zoro raises his hands with an easily going smile. We have to go to class now. Say, King-san. He offers you cheeriously his arms. Neither right? Oh my god. I saw a smile gracing your lips, with a hint of simping that he fortunately doesn't notice. You place your hand on his arm, resting the urge to spread a texture on his elbows. The moment the journalist is taking another step forward, Zero swiftly picks you up to bridal style, tape shooting out from his skin to attach itself to a tree beyond the gate. Next second, you're soaring into the air. You feel like a Mary Jane of every Spider-Man movie. Resisting the childish urge to let out an inferior scream, you instead grin wildly, eyes sparkling with excitement. As Cyril's gaze flickers to you with a certain you're fine, people can get vertigo pretty easily being carried like that. He's positively surprised by the happiness on your face. It's a very different look from the mellowness you've shown in these previous days. Soon, he lands on the other side of the gate, letting you on your feet like with a theatrical gesture. You giggle, still high on adrenaline. Blood is rushing to your cheeks and your heart beats just a tad faster when you meet his eyes. Say, Sarah gives you a curious look, perhaps not noticing, or mercifully not commenting, your flurried state. Why weren't you just passing by them? It looked like you wanted to get away. They asked me a question, you reply. It would have been very rude to ignore them. Sarah scratched the back of his head, looking something between amused and disoriented. King-san, aren't you perhaps a bit too kind? Someone is going to take advantage of it. You furrow and then your brows. I don't think so. It's never happened before. You're pretty sure you would notice. You care a lot about manners, but you wouldn't let people walk all over you because of that. You're the champion of passive aggressive sarcasm after all. And Bakugo-chan knows it very well. Not only physical blows can provoke pain. Well, that's good then. Zero shrugs, patting your head in a good natured fashion. If it ever happens, you can count on me. You gaze into his eyes. The belonging in your chest feels no. Blah, 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 blah. The belonging in your chest like a breeze blowing on a quiet field. You know he's saying it just because he's a nice person. It's not like you're suddenly best friends. But a heartfelt smile blooms on your lips anyways. Besides, headpads are in your books of the best things ever created. Thank you, Zero-san. Yoda! Look, look! Aizawa raises his gaze with an aggravated sigh to see President Mike pointing at the TV screen. Rubbing his eyes with a sudden yawn, he wonders why did he ever decide to teach in the first place. He should have just lived off as a hero's salary and stayed with his cats. He misses his cats. His attention faintly perks up as he notices the screen is showing a clear view of the streets right outside the UA. Figures. Journalists catch a wide of All Might's presence and immediately crowd around like a swarm of flies, ready to record anything that can give them a even grand of attention. What are they hoping to obtain? It's not like as if anyone would ever stop to talk with them. Lo and behold, someone just stopped, and she's his least favorite student. Ha! Or so he tells himself. See? President Mike laughs proudly. She's your first fan! Isawa rolls his eyes as hard as he can, letting his head fall back on the table. The girl's voice as he talks about All Might, every sentence sounded like it came straight off a came like came straight off from a professional interview, flies right past his ears. Until until the reporter asks about other teachers. And instead of being a normal person and talking about Midnight, Present Mark, Present Mike, or even Recovery Girl, she talks about him. Present Mike brushes a fake, or maybe a real tear, pointing at the screen. She loved you so much, Shota! He cleans his chest. It's so touching! Aizawa sighs deeply, but but for as much as he's sure he doesn't care, he moves over the girl's words for a few seconds. There's Aizawa sensei. He may be a very, well, unusual teacher, but I think he cares about us. Figures. She thinks he cares. That problem child. Why is she, why is she talking about him to the press? He hates the press. He much prefers for them to not know. This is just so funny. He much prefers for them not to know him. Thank you very much. As if hearing his thoughts, the girl suddenly stops and asks to go to class, although she isn't yet technically late. The journalist insists, of course, and Aizawa feels a prickle of annoyance in his chest. The press is so contemptible. Can they even leave a young girl alone? Especially one as meek as King. he can see just her. He can just see her getting guilt tripped into giving other stupid statements because it would be impolite to refuse. With a tired sigh, he stands up from his chair and brushes a few strands of his hair from his sleep-ridden eyes. I'll go tell them to scram, he grumbles. They'll make everyone late. They'll make everyone late otherwise. Besides, I don't like them. That's such a great idea, Shota! Hisashi exclaims, first pumping in the air. Go defend your little girl! Aizawa groans slowly, but he doesn't even bother to correct him. He's tried it so much by now that he knows it's a waste of words. Oh! Oh my gosh, what that voice! Mick urgent tones to stop him again, and he's about to leave the room, and as he's about to leave the room, and he turns, although he knows he'll regret it. Shota, look! A classmate arrived! He's one of yours, isn't he? Shota throws a quick glance at the TV. Seeing the tape boy, Serohanta has just come to the scene. Good. He looks a bit more imposing than the girl. He's probably two. At least one of them will be. At least none of them will be late to class. Mike doesn't seem to share his opinion. That's so tragic, Shota! He murmurs in a sullen fashion. He helped her before you could. How will you prove to her you're a you're a good role model now? That's not even the point. Aizawa argues with exasperation. I don't care about. Don't worry, Shota. he says she pats early his back. There is always a next time to shine in front of your fan. Giving up the idiocy of it all, I saw him massage his temples and mutters in a, in a gravated curse before stepping out of the room. He'll just vent all his frustration into the journalist. That almost brings a smile to his face. Look! The woman excited shook snaps her husband to attention. They're interviewing our wonder child. Oh my god, she looks so mature. The man sits next to her on the sofa, a proud grin on his face as he watches the girl on the screen. She does look very mature, poised, calm, and polite. There is just a certain residual childness in the way he scrunches up her eyebrows or takes a few seconds to think. That's hints at her actual age. Both her parents coo at the scene, just to get mad at the second the journalist insists. How dare she? The woman grumbles. Athena Chan clearly told her she has to go to class. Is it possible to take the whole press to court? The man frowns in response. If it is, I suggest we do it. The woman snores. Atmosphere light again, but both their eyes burst out of their sockets when a young man, probably the Doris classmate, stepped forward to flank in the crowd. At first, he behaves normal enough, supporting her attempts to escape with a few simple but concise words. Next moment, he's picking her up bridal style and carrying her into the inside of the gate. The woman gawks. The journalist's cameras follow the two until they're no longer visible, with some background comments about hero quirks, the potential of first student years, and young love. Who? The man clears his throat. Who even is that? Another friend? The woman dubiously suggests. A few seconds of silence pass before he dares to ask the direct question. How many friends does Wonder Child have? Well, that's definitely not Izuku, Inasa, Katsuki, or Ejiro. Inasa isn't even at UA. Maybe there's the boy she worked with the team, but she told us he was blonde and have a copycat quirk. What about the guy she met up with the school before the start? What about the guy she met up with before with well, I can't read. What the fuck? What about the guy she met up with before school started? The other blonde one. Can't be. His quirk has to do with electricity. Maybe that's new friend in her class? His name is Ida, and she called that guy Sarah-san. Then the boy from general department. He had a brainwashing correct ear. Nothing to do with tape. Wait, I know. This must be the guy she won the battle trials with. She told us about him. Yeah, and his name is Sojiro, if I'm not mistaken. Then we are 9 friends? The man runs over his face, letting the childish grumble. Too many, he whines. Surely lightly, the woman gets up and shoots him a smile. Oh well, she muses. Looks like we'll have the young man over to dinner soon enough. Oh my god. Mm, sorry. Once finally inside the classroom, Caterpillar Isawa asks you to choose a class president. He doesn't look different, and he's kind of looking at your direction, so you guess he hasn't seen the videos of your interview, or maybe he doesn't care. That's good. You wouldn't know what to do if you bother him with your foolish words. Having solved that problem, you stare at the piece of paper in your hands where you're supposed to write the name of your future class president. You don't really fancy the idea of being one yourself, even disregarding the fact that you're too socially awkward and get tired easily when interacting with others. You already know Ira and Yaoyorosu will take the roles, and you trust them. They're both smart, polite, hardworking, and resourceful. They're perfectly managed. Izuku turns to you with an insecure smile and asks, Athena, would you like to? Not particularly. You have knowledge. He doesn't need to finish his sentence for you to know what he's talking about. If you told him you would like to be class president, he would vote for you. That's very sweet. You instead? You ask. You like the idea? I don't really know. Izuku scratches the back of his head. I don't feel like I would be a great class president. I've never been one before, but that's not a problem. His sweat drops. I doubt anyone will vote for me anyway. You give him your infamous close-eyed smile. You never know, Izuku. You decide to vote for Ida. You aren't particularly interested in getting the place, so voting for yourself wouldn't make sense. And although you know that a single vote won't change canon, You like to think that at least improve Ida's mood. Oh. Izuku ends up voting for himself, honestly thinking that nobody else will, and instead receive the votes of both Ida and Uraraka. You, on the other hand, have one vote. Who was it? Your eyes skin over the classroom, wondering about the mysterious voter identity. Kirishima, maybe? But he was so excited about being class president. He probably voted for himself. Baku definitely did the same. Who then? Oh well, you'll find sooner or later. For the time being, Izuku is elected as class president, although it looks like he could faint on the spot, and Yoyorusu as vice president. Ida looks pretty bummed that he hasn't been chosen, but also very proud of the vote he got. He already stood up twice loudly to announce his gratitude towards the peer who considered him such worthy of such respect, and to grant the will he do everything in his power to meet his expectations. But since you would rather die than be the center of attention, you didn't reveal yourself. You guess you'll tell him, if you really care so much. Maybe later at lunch. And it's just as you're going to lunch, you promise Kirishima, Baku, and Kaminari that you will sit with them tomorrow. Kirishima and Kaminari had the decency to be happy. Bakugo just scoffed. The day after tomorrow has, of course, been claimed by Shinzo. Yay! That the conversation about heroes begins. Uraraka admits she's doing it for money, but honestly, she's doing it to support her family, and that's the sweetest thing that someone can do. You make sure to tell her that. Then Nita talks about his history with heroes, and particularly Ingenium. It's plain as day how much he admires his older brother. He's his role model, his goal to follow. He wants to make his family proud, and you respect that. Growing up with that kind of environment must have been pressuring at times, but Ida seems to have bloomed in the both skills of sense of duty under his family's influences. You're just waiting for the alarm to sound, dozing off while staring at the sparkling clean table, when the three turn anonymously towards you. Uraraka asks, "And you, Athena-chan?" You blink. "Huh?" "That's right." Izuku lays his chin on his hand. "Athena, I, I've known you since we were kids, but you've never told me why you wanted to be a hero." You hum, pondering on the question. "It's true. You and Izuku never talk in depth about it. You decided to be one only since a few years, and he's always been held back by his state of quirklessness. But the reason that made you choose the path? Oh, that's easy. You decided it ages ago. Giving your three classmates a foxy grin, much unusual for your mellow persona, you reply, Why will I be a hero, you say? That's obvious. To change history. The alarm goes off. Roll credits. Oh my god. Fiddling nervously with the hair of the woman's eyes glance over to her boss, whose absolute attention is currently seized by the TV screen. What is he doing exactly? She can't help but ask. Beats me, a coworker shrugs. He's been like this for the last five minutes at least. Maybe he really likes that movie? It's not a movie. It's an interview about All Might, as far as I understood. The woman's eyes widen. Really? It would have been made more sense if it was about Endeavor. Oh well, there's no harm in letting him watch some TV. Maybe not, the man grumbles, making to leave. Let's just hope he'll be able to break him out of if there's an emergency. Left alone, the woman's eyes fly back to her boss, the third stronger hero of Japan, currently engrossed into fawning over the TV screen. She's never seen him like this before. Perhaps his passion for All Might runs deeper in than it seems. Passing by him, she catches a few other words he's probably cooing and suspiciously like cute and fat. She decided she doesn't need to know. That's great, sweetie. You're doing you. Sir-san, my parents would like to have you to have you over for dinner. Zero. What? Yeah, they saw you hold me practice on national television and want you to take responsibility for your actions. Oh my gosh. Chapter 24. Disintegration. Oh no, that's right. We've met you. We've met Shigaraki before when we were kids. Oh my goodness. Okay, chapter 24. Disintegration. Look at this adorable. Oh, that's so cute. There's nothing here. Okay. It's a pity. You barely had the time to say your dramatic sentence before violent sounds start attacking your eardrums. Immediately, it's panic. You would expect UA students to know better how to behave in an emergency. Were they scolded for their ridiculous behavior afterwards? You hope so. You hope so. Since the moment you and your small group make the stand up, you immediately get shoved against a wall and an elbow hits you on the chin. Fuck. You turn towards the stupid fuck, but soon realize it's hopeless. There's dozens of students screaming as they hurry past you, and you have no idea who the culprit is. Fucking lovely. You'll get a bruise. You think you can faintly hear Izuku, Ida, and Uraraka shout your name in the crowd, but the next moment you don't hear them anymore, and you give up on rejoining them. You know they'll be fine. This is the moment Ida shows us his word as class president, and everything ends well. Reassured that your friends are safe, you worry about getting yourself to safety. Since the shelf at least pushed you against the wall instead of a glass window that would probably vertigo inducing, you crawl forward until you find the door, throwing it open and accidentally hitting someone else in the process. Ha! You fling yourself into the empty corridor on the other side. Suddenly, it's peace. Well, not exactly. The alarms are still blaring, and the stampede of students is just a wall of distance making itself known through yells and shouts. But the corridor is empty, and you much prefer it to the chaos. You would be worried about evacuating if you didn't know about the truth about why the alarm sounded. Everyone is going to calm down the moment they find out it's the press. Although, well, technically it's not the press, but you shouldn't know that. Let it down slow breath. You take a few tentative steps in the corridor. You know it's a place you should be. You shouldn't be. The door wasn't locked, and it seems normal enough. Reassure your legs. Your blah blah blah. Reassured, your legs start moving to take you somewhere. You'll go back to the door when the alarm stops. Who knows which classes these are? You murmur curiously. Maybe I could meet someone from 3B? I'm such a sim for a Majiki. Miri and Neji were wonderful too. You stop, eye catching a figure passing towards you, dressed in a black hoodie. Maybe your canon magnet skills are working, and it's actually a Majiki. A strangled breath is cut into your throat as you recognize him. Or maybe your power work in the worst possible way, as it always does. Fuck. You haven't even thought. But of course, he infiltrated UA, so he had to have used some corridors. Why your corridor, though? Your ass? Should I ask for his autograph? I already have overhauls. Who cares now? Focus on the problem. Instinctively, your eyes fall into his shadow, locking him into your place. Your breathing is accelerating in panic. He realizes he cannot move, and his blood eyes start to turn to meet with yours. His shaggy light blue strands peek out of the stuff from the hood. Oi, a gruff voice makes your head stand on end. What are you doing? You draw a choking gasp. No, no. You block him impulsively, but you just draw your own grave. Stay calm. Think. He can't kill me. His whole plan would crash. He would be able to keep his infiltration a secret if he killed my student. If I pretend I don't know who he is, things will go well for once. Sorry, you squeak, using a great deal to effort to release your grip from his shadow. I just acted on instinct. You're the third year, right? We should evacuate. The alarms are sounding? Just as you say it, the alarm stops. Ida's show must have already happened. Sooner or later, they'll notice you're gone. Never mind, you could be dead thrice by then. Shigaraki is staring at you, crimson eyes dissecting every shade of your expression. It's impossible he doesn't notice the terror in your eyes, the faint trembling on your hands. But maybe he will attribute to the chaos happening in the lunchroom. He nods, a jerky movement which almost makes you jump, and keeps walking. It's a few stands that he feels like alive. He heads towards you slow and as grave as dead as you desperately try to take your breath steady. You know he just has to pass you by now. If you just let him pass, everything will go well. But the moment he finds himself next to you, he turns, eyes flashing with madness and blood, and lunges towards you. You let out a choked scream as your head slams against the wall. Four lean fingers grab around your throat. Well, You don't even know why you're surprised anymore. Things never go your way. Shigaraki's hood has fallen onto his shoulders. His grip wouldn't be strong enough to keep you still. But you perfectly know what will happen if you let him at that fifth finger. Since he doesn't know you, though, he feels the need to warn you. I wouldn't move if I were you, he rasped, his other, his other hand raised into your ear. Just stiffen. Is it going to hurt you to prove his point? You're you're just about to risk it all and hit him when his hand gets away from your hair. He's holding Hawk's feather. No way! That's right. We had a Hawk's feather. Don't tell me. No. Oh no! Looking you straight in the eyes, he has a fit finger and crumbles to dust. No! It's easy to feign the horror in your eyes. It's not surprise. You knew his quirk, but the sorrow from losing the feather and anger yourself from letting it happen drown your heart of a wave of loathing. Hawks gave it to you as a gift, and you didn't even manage to take care of it more than 4 years. Still, Shigaraki's gaze is fixed on you as he taps the fourth finger against your neck. And maybe you have more urgent matters to worry about. You'll feel shitty for losing Huck's feather later. Right now, a villain is threatening your life, and although you're happy that his other hand is far, you're not happy at all that he's gone to scratch his neck. Nothing ever goes well when he scratches his neck. What did you even do to make him mad? He should have just walked past you. Instead, for some reason, he stopped. Now he's furrowing his brows and twisting his mouth as if he was in pain, as if just the sight of you was enough to make his head to split open. You, you're familiar. Shigaraki Troy's voice beating your skin. I'm sure I've seen you before, and I don't like this. Who are you? How do I know you? Oh, well, just fucking lovely. He remembers you. That must be why he stopped. He doesn't even remember his past at this point of time, yet your side must have awakened memories in him, and you perfectly remember how he reacted to flashback in canon. Things just can't get worse, huh? Your silence seems to anger Shigaraki. His grip on his neck tightens, and suddenly you can't breathe. You let out a terrified gasp, forcing yourself not to claw his hand in fear of making his fifth finger come in contact with your skin. Who are you? He asked again, voice vicious and unforgiving. You're panicking. It's not as if you can say, oh yeah, I'm the one kid you met 14 years ago in an alley. Happy you remember. You were just two. You aren't supposed to remember it yourself. Besides, you don't even have enough breath for it anymore. There's that stinging in the corners of your eyes, burning scalding hot. You don't know what comes over you, but you take a last breath. And don't worry, you whisper, a trembling smile coming from your lips. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry, you bubble voice, thick and childish. Everything's going to be fine. Next moment, you're breathing again. Harsh coughs shaking your frame, you stumble your feet, leaning against the wall to fix your eyes upon Shigaraki. The man is trembling almost as much as you. He's taking a few steps back, shoulder hitting the other wall, and he's staring at you with a mix of horror and awe. You, he whispers. You are. I remember you. You grimace, massaging your throat. I do too, you quietly admit. At this point, it would be useless to deny. You almost, you almost gasp at your words. You do. He stretches out his hands towards you, transfixed, and for 1 second, you're two again. Strapped up inside your stroller, the boy, just a kid now, staring at you with exact awe in his eyes and holding his fingers out in desperate search of contact. And you don't move. You'll probably regret it for a moment past and present are the same. Your heart is singing with belonging, and you let one, two, three, four fingers graze your cheek. Shiraki's touch is as soft as a feather, as if it could break just put in a bit more pressure. He can, and you both know it. I remember you, he whispers once again. You told me everything would be fine, but your eyes said the contrary. You knew you were lying, didn't you? We both knew it. It's ridiculous. You were 2 years old. How does Shigaraki think you could possibly know something like that? But you did. You did. And you can't lie to him now. Yes. The whisper lifts your lip as a light breeze. I did. I know. What is happening here? Shigaraki replies. You're both speaking softly as if you don't want the world to hear you. The corridor is completely silent. You could hear the pin drop. You stay still, barely breathing. Not a kid and a toddler anymore. A man and a girl this time. So close, and you're just one finger away from death. You're waiting. Something will come to break the moment. Something has to come. Because otherwise, you don't know. Even if you clear the fog in your brain, escaping and fighting aren't an option in the position you're in right now. Something will come. Maybe a teacher will find you. Or maybe or maybe Kurogiri will appear in a swirl of black and mist and say, "Why is taking you so long, Shigaraki Tomura?" Before widening his yellow eyes the moment he takes you in. Student, he claims. You swallow. Shigaraki Tomura, Kuro- Kurogiri calls, and the boy turns his face to his and the boy turns to face him but doesn't let his fingers from your cheek. Were you found? Were you found? Did she alert the other teachers? Don't worry, Kurogiri. Shigaraki replies in a slow manner. We're all acquaintances. You're what? You wonder where it is worth it to try and escape. On one hand, Shigaraki is distracted. On the other, he needs just a fragment of a second to disintegrate your face, and it's a very bad place to get injured. Much worse, the Eraserhead elbows. No, much worse than the Eraserhead elbow. Won't she tell the teacher about us? Kurogiri's eyes you with doubt. She could ruin our operation. She knows nothing, Shigaraki shrugs. Besides, she'll keep her mouth shut, won't she? The touch on your cheek becomes undeniably threatening. Maybe it's because of Kurogiri's arrival, which reminds Shigaraki of the current mission. But whatever moment of understanding has settled between you two has clearly dwindled. It was nice while it lasted, you suppose. When you look into his eyes again, they host only a wild madness you would expect from a villain, making you draw a straightened breath. You're in deadly risk right now. We'll keep an eye over you. Shiraki Or's gazed into yours. His thumb is forefinger trailing a strand of your hair absent-mindedly. If you say anything of this, you'll kill me. Maybe, he concedes, a smile jagged and cruel. But first, I could kill your family. You freeze. An image of mother and father flashes through your mind. That's not what you predicted. Threats to your life, you're used to it by now. But they don't have to do anything with this. They are normal people who deserve a normal daughter, not a mad woman who gets in trouble with villains and got them killed. Your expression gives Shigaraki everything he needs to know. To know his threat hit close to home. His smile widens into a nightmare. I think we have a deal, he murmurs. Don't we? You nod numbly. 1,000 thoughts are running through your head. Good. Shigaraki pats your cheek, leaving his pinky out. It would be a pity having to break you. Then he steps back with Kurogiri and disappears into a swirl of mist. It takes you a long second to realize it's over. You fall to your knees, chest heaving desperately in short grasp. But fuck, you can't breathe. First, I could kill your family. No, no, no. Things weren't supposed to go like this. You weren't supposed to endanger someone else. Fuck, why isn't there here? Stop. Calm down. Breathe. Think. Everything is dark and murky and heavy, and you're drowning. Think! You draw a stirring gasp. Yes, thinking. You're good at thinking. It's always the answer. Think, think. First of all, you take stock of your surroundings. The corridor is empty. Your hands are covered in a familiar tar, which makes you escape inside your shadow on instinct, searching for comfort. You take a note of it. You don't exit. It makes you feel safe. Secondly, you realize a drop of blood is rolling down your cheek. It seems Shigaraki's last curse was more of a scratch. His fingers left bloody half moons on your skin. Doesn't matter. I'll just wash my face. Yes, Yes, you should do because you can't tell anyone about this. There is no big problem, you whisper, trying to anchor yourself to reality. I didn't plan to say anything anyways, because there was no possible way for me to know. If Shigaraki hadn't threatened my parents, I could have told Sensei about our meeting. Is it true, after all? But I still couldn't have given him any information about the attack because Shigaraki would never tell me. He didn't, in fact. I would have just told Aizawa-san that I met a bill in the corridors and he let me alive. Now, I can't tell him that either. I doubt they're actually watching me right now, but you never know with Kurogiri. I can't take a risk. My parents wouldn't stand a chance. Still, I know how things will go at the USJ. And except lessening the damage, there's nothing I could have done anyway. Things will end well. I know it. You take a deep breath, in and out, in and out. You can do this. Just one step at a time. Get out of your shadow, find a bathroom, clean up, go back to your classroom, apologize for the delay, be normal, keep calm. When when will USJ happen? You don't remember. Maybe it was never specified in the anime. Maybe you just forgot. You don't like not knowing. You have a feeling USJ will be terrible, terrible experience for you. Much worse than you can imagine. Doesn't matter now. Just in and out. You get out of your shadow, finding yourself in a world that feels cold and harsh and raw, and drag yourself to the closest bathroom. Thank God it's empty. You wash your face, trying to scrub away the traces of tears of blood. And, oh, no, or blood. Then your eyes fall and telltale sign of bruises on your neck. Fuck. How do you even cover them? You don't have makeup nor a scarf. Who can lend you a scarf? Will they do it without a question? And how do you cover them until then? You have bandages, but using them would be like admitting you're hurt in the first place. You would be sent to recovery girl, and she would instantly recognize the injury. It helps that the bruise is blooming onto your chin, too. From the elbow to the blah blah blah. From the elbow to the face you gradually received during the stampede. You can pretend the signs of your neck come from there too. Still, soon the handprints will be visible, and not amount of hurrying making the student accidents strangle to another. You try to cover what you can with your hair. Although it's a shaky concealment at best, you'll have to do until you arrive to class. The moment you step out of the bathroom, I saw was asleep green eyes bore into yours. You almost let out an anime like before restraining yourself. Sensei! You exclaim instead. You're late to class, he barely says. I understand the stampede may have delayed you, but suddenly he shut up. His eyes narrow, fixing on your disheveled appearance, puffy eyes, and bruised chin, expression changing as he takes you in. What happened? He grins out. He looks much angrier now. You go, I'm I'm really sorry, Sensei. You bow your head. You're quite surprised you spent this much time without doing it in the first place. There were a lot of people shouting and running in the lunchroom. I don't really like it, you know? You take a breath. In and out. It can work. You're a shy, soft-spoken girl. You had a panic attack because of the stampede. You went to the bathroom to calm down and didn't notice the passing of time. That works. That makes sense. That's normal. I see. Aizawa says. You're not looking at him, but his voice softened. And the bruises? Someone accidentally elbowed me during the stampede. I don't know who. It was impossible to understand in the chaos. Aizawa rolls his eyes, clearly displeased. They want to become heroes and can't even behave with alarm sounds. He mutters, and you can't help but agree. You and Aizawa head back to UA, you ignoring the faintly trembling on your legs and hoping he will just attribute it to the panic. And you're about to enter the class. He stops, gives you a side-eyed glance, and comments, Where's the feather? You jolt. What? The red feather. You always brought it with you. Ah! You realize your hand, so secondly to your ear, which feels naked now. I must have lost it in the stampede. It's not difficult to have your your forehead creased with distress, thinking that you truly lost it forever. Your lips tremble, and Aizawa lets out a soft sigh. Don't worry, someone will find it. He confers you, hands fall into your head in a less awkward than usual path. You nod. Although you know it's not true, warm spread into your chest anyway. It's impossible not to be comforted by Isawa. He's Isawa. Thanks, Insei. You mumble. He opens the door to accompany you in. Luckily, the class is very invested in the Holy Suku gives us giving the Holy Suku gives up his class president role to Ida, and you manage to get into your seat without problems. Or at least you think. Where the fuck were you, extra? Google's class voice addressed you. Much quieter than usual, which means it's not normal volume. Predictably, he isn't interested in the class president matter. Were you stupid enough to get lost? You feel a small spark of fondness, although you keep your head down in the hope your hair is still covering your neck. You guess that's the most you're gonna get from Bakugo. Maybe he's even worried, although he will never admit it. I was in the bathroom, Bakugo-chan. You evenly reply. He hubs. Why aren't you looking at me? I'm very invested in Ida's becoming class president. You face straight ahead, where Izuku is currently surrendering his place to Ida. Although actually you're looking down at your hands pressed under your tide. You should watch too. Bakugo scoffs, but makes no further move to see your face, and you're grateful for that. The day doesn't get any worse after that. It would be difficult after all. You compliment Ida in his role as class president, tell Uraraka that he's just really cold, but tell Uraraka that it's just really cold when she asks why you're wearing your turtleneck jacket, and avoid Izuku's eyes because he would read you like a book. You tell him you're going to trade. You tell him you're going to train with Kirishima that evening, like you're supposed to, so he doesn't have time to question you. Then you make an excuse to Kirishima for which you will not be able to train. The Red Hood looks so disappointed it breaks your heart, but it must be done. Lastly, you hurry home and try with poor skills with a concealer to hide the bruise on your neck, which by now has taken the distinctive shape of four fingers prints. Fucking lovely. When will USJ be? Tomorrow, probably. You feel like 1,000 ants are crawling to your back when you're just even thinking about it. You make sure you have both mother and father for an extended amount of time after dinner as you watch a movie together. You cuddle as affectionately as you did when you were a child, maybe even more, since you were never a real child. They think school must have been stressing you out, which is more or less true, and assure that you can do this. You're marvel at their softness and naivety from a certain point of view. But it's better like this. You fall asleep sandwiched between them. Oh. Kurokiri appeared in the middle of his project, hoping a random girl's cheek. Am I interrupting something or. Oh my god. This is crazy. Oh no, it's happening. Need some water for this. Oh, this is so messed up. Chapter 25 Universal Studios Japan. Oh no. Guys, made me order twice. Check it out, it's super. And this one, hey, this. Have you seen this girl? She's a wonder child, but you do. That's how you should say it. And this, nice. And also this. No, 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 terrible. Okay, sorry. Chapter 25 Universal Studios Japan. Next morning, as your breakfast waits unpleasantly on your stomach, you get on the bus with everyone else to go to a special lesson in that special place that you'll know will cause a lot of special pain. Breathe. Just breathe. In and out. Just breathe. In the heights. Sorry. You tense all your muscles in your body and then slowly relax. You brought everything you deem necessary for a fight with villains. A first aid kit, energy bars, and 3 knives. The third one comes from your kitchen. If you don't like if you don't feel like crying, you could be laughing at the stupidity of your behavior. As if a knife kitchen would protect you from a Nomu. Asida tries to order you your seats and fails because it's not like the kind of us he was expecting. You take a seat at the window in the back and you try to relax. A few people stop to ask if you're fine, and you lie. You don't think you can sit next to your usual friends, Izuku, Kirishima, Kaminari, Uraraka, Ira, Mina. They're all so sweet and energetic, and that would only make your anxiety worse. Right now, you want to spend the ride worrying, breathing slowly, and beating your lip until it bleeds. It's Jiro that sits next to you. You give her a quiet smile, grateful for the company of one of the calmest members in your class, and turns to look out of the window. Jiro leaves you privacy for the most of the ride, but it's clear she notices there's something troubling you. She shoots you a quick glance pretending to be engrossed in the music she's listening to, and after a few minutes, with an inaudible sigh, she asks, "Hey, is everything fine?" You give her a smile that doesn't quite reach your eyes. "Of course, Jiro-san. And you?" "Pretty normal." She shrugs. She stretches her arms as if bored, bumping up her laid-back persona. You don't know she's a quiet chill most of the time, but right now, her question definitely has something underneath. "I'm glad you're fine." You nod, promptly turning back towards the window screen. Jiro seems stumped for a few seconds, then simply said, "I don't know you at all that well, King-san, so feel free to tell me if I'm overstepping." She averts her eyes, flitting at her earlobes. "But you look pretty tense, and it's a bit obvious. Don't take it wrong, but it's clear change from your usual you. You are, bro." Quietly amused as how she apparently couldn't find words to describe you. She was probably about to say politeness before she took it maybe to say strangeness, and then decided to play it safe by and not risk offending you. "Still, are you really that obvious?" A cupping fanged mouth as distress bites at your chest. If you're so glaringly nervous every time something bad is about to happen, won't that become suspicious sooner or later? "Oh, constantly any time Athena feels sick or behaves weirdly, tragedy strikes. What a bizarre coincidence. Pretty sus. You'll have to rein your nerves back, but that's a thought for another time. Right now, Jairus is looking at you, trying to convey the simple worry she feels, and you're touched by it. So I just wanted to say that." She looks with a strange mix of reassuring at the same time out of her comfort zone. "If you need to talk about something, I mean, probably your friends are a better choice since they know you better, but you're my friend too, Jiro-san." You should hear a soft smile as a pink hue spread to the girl's cheeks. You feel like placing your hand on her for a second, but that would probably overstep your boundaries. You're having a moment, though. That's much is clear. Then you blink. "And you're being inconsiderate of her wishes, though?" "I mean," you add, "if you'll have me, of course." "Ah," Jiro slowly sticks, nodding. "Yes, I would be happy to be your friend, King-san." As you make as you make the turn towards the window again, Jiro clears his throat and asks, "So, is there something bothering you, Athena-san? No, King-san?" You hum, thoughtfully, then decided to go all in. Shooting Jiro a wink at your reply. "Not anymore. Thank you." And then you turn towards the window and steam in anxiety. "Not anymore." The fattest lie ever said. It's not like a chat. It's not like a chat can make villains disappear. Although it's admittedly nice to know Jiro cares. But you kill two birds with one stone. He's happier, and you'll be left alone. You may not be the smartest or most outspoken person, but sometimes even your social skills work enough to make you say the right thing. You're good at giving compliments at least. And you can go back to dying inside while thinking about Shigaraki. What a great training exercise this will be. At least upon entering USJ, the amazement momentarily distracts you from the weight of festering like a poisonous rock at the pit of your stomach. The place is breathtaking. You can see a mountain zone, landside zone, fire zone, and you can't help but wonder where you will end up when Kurogiri will pop out of nowhere and try to divide you and kill you off quicker. Wow, you think. What a lovely optimist I'm being right now. Will Shigaraki let it show that you two have a connection? He's so childish and impulsive that he may do it on his whim, as well as not even to hint to it. He is impossible to predict. Kurogiri has probably asked about you, since Shigaraki called you an old acquaintance, and once he discovers about you the first meeting, what what did he advise Shigaraki to do? Ignore you? Use you? Kill you? You don't know. What you do know is that if Shigaraki says one wrong word about, you'll have to justify your connection to a fucking supervillain. And even if you survive that day, you'll end up with an interrogation in Nessu's office. That's not cup of tea you will be able to sweeten. This fucking show. Couldn't I end up somewhere where they don't question weirdly acquired knowledge? 13 comes out, your classmate's eyes within an illusion. Uraraka particularly is absolutely Star Trek, gripping your arm with a dazed excitement as she blurs about the hero. Izuku's too is fanboying pretty hard, gripping your other arm, but that's just the norm. You faintly realize, like a long-used instinct you can turn off, that you haven't gotten 13's autograph. In any other situation, you could whip out your open paper and ask for it, but the awareness of what's come makes it sour. Villains are going to attack at any moment, and instead of preventing it, you're dilly-dallying about an autograph. So stupid, so meaningless. 13 stars there talk about the danger of quirks that you couldn't help but to agree. Some quirks can be really dangerous. You're not so discreetly nudged Bakugo when 13 talks about misusing one quirk and hurting others, only to whistle innocently the moment he turns towards you. Oi! He barks. What's that supposed to mean, shadow bitch? Oh, you chirp. I know what you're talking about. Do you mean 13 speech? Of course I fucking. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Bakugo-chan. You finally realized how grossly you used your quirk, didn't you? That's just. That's such a great step forward. Self-awareness. Self-awareness is very important for, for your anger management issues. Oh my god. You, you were the one who. I'll kill you! Bakugo fiercely explodes, attracting Kirishima, who probably comes to your rescue and asks you with an expressive manner, how do you even deal with him of your childhood? To which you shrug in a cherry smile. You just stop listening to him after a while, Jiro. You just explain. It's always the same. Explosions, blah blah blah. Die, blah blah blah. Kirishima jumps when Bakugo throws himself over him in an attempt to reach you, shouting something containing the word die. We just prove your point. You take advantage of the way Kirishima's hardening is blocking his arms. The back, the spiky blonde hair. He tries to bite your hand off, and a few steps of distance, Izuku and Uraraka sweat drop as they watch in a weirdly comic scene playing out in front of them. Was this was this your whole childhood? Uraraka uncertainly asked. Izuku chuckles sheepishly. Not really, actually. Athena and I didn't talk with Kachan a lot after we turned 4. Really? Uraraka blinks with curious eyes. But you seem friends now. At least kind of. What changed? I A flash of a sludgy incident crossed Izuku's mind, and as clear as the day he recalls Bakugo painting and growling, a moment away from being suffocated, who yet only focused on you, getting you out and helping you break free, pushing you to safety, ignoring the way his own life with a risk. During this sludge incident, I guess our priorities come out. He shrugs. He assumes Uraraka saw the incident on the TV, and so she knows what she's talking about. She nods and waits for him to elaborate. Isuke doesn't, though. What started as a light chat suddenly makes him mull on things he hadn't thought about in a long time. Their priorities. Yes, that's right. Although those words were said without even thinking, he soon found he's right. His and Bakugo's priorities did come out during the sludge incident. They both only cared about one thing, and it wasn't the villain. It wasn't All Might. It wasn't even their own lives. It was you. Maybe Bakugo hadn't admitted to himself yet. Maybe he would never. He never would. And he was a good hiding it. He was good at hiding it. Izuku would never guess if not for the sludge incident, but the cat was out of the bag now, and it couldn't get back inside. It was clear that as much as for Bakugo offended you, threatening you to blow up, you weren't the one person he would die before letting get hurt. Izuku didn't know, nor sincerely understood, when it happened. For him, it was a slow, gradual process. At first, you were his friend, then you were his best friend, and then his only friend. The only one he had, the only one he needed. And somewhere along the line, he looked at you and found you were his everything. That's so cute. determination, his strength, his hope, his happiness. There wasn't a clear boundary he overstepped or bordered you across in some moment to turn off something or something else. It just happened, as natural as a brook streaming down from a mountain. It was difficult to imagine that for Bakugo it had been the same. There had to be a moment, like a burst of lightning, a thunder, an explosion, and then everything changed. When did he truly look at you for the first time and then he cared? Maybe it happened right there during the sludge accident, the moment he thought he could actually lose you. Or maybe it happened long before, but he never just got the chance to show it. Izuku shakes himself off his fantasy and in time to realize Uraraka is still looking at him, a bit worried by his long silence. Ah! He stammers, flushing brightly. Sorry, I was saying. He rubs back of in the back of his neck. What am I saying again? Uraraka giggles and gestures him that is no problem. In the meantime, Bakugo's rage has been diverted to prevent him from killing you, mainly thanks to Kirishima's and successively Kaminare's intervention, who stepped in shouting about being your charming knight. Mina is standing in the sidelines, snickering childishly. Izuku sweat drops as his eyes fall on Sawa, who quite clearly noticed the ruckus you're making and is about to give you all the purple lashing of your lives. Izuku's already trembling and dread when something shifts. For a moment, everything seems to fade to the background. Sounds, lights, smell, blurring into a phase of fragments as the very texture of the universe cracks. And from the crack, advanced darkness. I saw a weight in his eyes as he waves his head towards the plaza, where menacing figures are appearing one by one. They have all kinds of shapes and bodies, and none of them looks friendly. Izuku's stomach flees over to Shin and a sweat covers his skin. Even while his classmates wonder whether this is another exercise, he knows the truth. He knows it even before Aizawa turns goggles on his eyes, capture weapon hovering menacingly, and hurls the hard reality straight into their faces. Don't move! Those are villains. Izuku's eyes immediately dart to you. You look petrified, staring at the villains as if they're each and one and every one of your nightmares come to life. A surge of protection swells in his chest, and he runs to you imperialistic. His priority. But he soon finds he isn't the only one. A blur of red and yellow flank him on the one side with query shouts of your name, and yet it's Bakugo who reaches you first. What the fuck are you doing, you stupid extra? He roars, gripping your collar and dragging you away with him. Your eyes are fixed on the mountain, completely unseen. Maybe it's because of Aizawa? Izuku knows you admire that man, and he's about to fight alone of dozen villains. His chances doesn't look good, and you're probably worried. But your day seems to go much deeper than a simple concern. Just don't freeze any time a building is nearby. Bakugo shows up with his usual tact. Are you this fucking useless? Oh my god. You don't answer, hanging from a grip like a lifeless ragdoll. Although you know it's impossible. Hiraki is too far, and his face is covered. It's covered. You could swear that his scarlet eyes fix on you. You have a feeling this trip will be much worse than you thought. Athena, Athena-chan! You suddenly realize you're surrounded by your classmates. Izuku, Bakugo, Kirishima, Kaminari, as 13 order you to run away. You move your shaking legs with your others, but you already know you won't be able to. Enter to your memory, Kurogiri soon appears in the trail of blackness and cuts your way out. You can't see his clothes, not even the outline of his body. He's just a blanket of mist with glowing eyes, and you have a dreadful feeling that he's looking at you. It may be preposterous of us, he drawls voice rich and smooth, but we have invited ourselves into the home of heroes, UA High School, to kill All Might. You stop listening after a few words, attention turning with a flash of panic to the red-haired and blonde boy flanking in both sides. In just a moment, they're going to launch at the enemy, and that will be a mistake, a grave mistake. But they aren't. Both Bakugo and Kirishima are still glaring daggers at Kurogiri, bodies stiff and out. They're clearly ready to fight, but aren't charging recklessly like in canon. Instead, if you just observe the scene from an other point of view and analyze stances, it almost looks as they're standing in front of you. Warmth swells in your chest as you gaze at Bakugo's profile. He's thinking about protecting, not just fighting, not just winning. You've truly changed things. Ah, I see we meet again. Kurogiri's voice freezes you over. Oh, I've changed things all right. You raise Friday eyes to meet his. It's not possible to be mistaken this time. He's looking at you. He's talking at you, saying you have met already, and there are so many witnesses around. You're done for. In just a single second, you may have lost everything you wanted to achieve in your new life. What the fuck are you saying, you stupid portal? Bakugo yells, spurs cracking on his fingertips. I'll blow you up. Your friends are quite fist. Your friends are quite feisty, it seems. Kirigiri misses. Boys in coldest eyes. They're golden eggs, after all. The future heroes of society. My task is to divide and kill you all. But you, in particular, I fear you may be a too great hassle to be left alive. What? Your blood runs ice cold. You barely notice the reaction of everyone around you. Izuku, Bakugo, Kirishima, Kaminari, Uraraka, Ida, Mina, Jiro, your classmates widen their eyes, mouth gaping in silent horror, as they try to reach you. 13 shouts something somewhere behind you, and for a moment, you think they're gonna help you in time. Then the mist swirls you around, and everything goes black. Oh my god. The villains. Ah, yes. Finally, a chapter dedicated to us. Izuki topping off how the absolutely no planning into your monologue about how much he adores you. Hello, motherfuckers. Oh my god. Okay, I think. Okay, this will be. Oh my god. Hmm. This probably be the last one. Chapter 26. Yeah, it's not available anymore. Uh, Chapter 26. Fighting with Sensei. You'll fall back on your feet just a fraction of a second later. Immediately alert, you skim over your surroundings. You meet a pair of foreign eyes, then another one, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. And you're completely surrounded by villains. There's so many. Why are there so many? My task is to divide and kill you all, but you, in particular, I fear you may be too great a hassle to be left alive. Fuck. Just fucking lovely. You're so dead. Kurogiri wants you dead, and he sent you to a place swarming with villains. You're so fucking dead. Why did you ever think about becoming hero was a good idea? Hey, little girl. A villain with that seems to be a mutant quirk smirks with a too big mouth. What are you doing here all alone? I was sent here, she sincerely replied. To kill me, I presume? Trying to peek over the villain's shoulders. Why are they taller than you? That's just humiliating. You come to a shocking realization. You're in the plaza. That's why it's so full of villains. They just got out of the portal and are all crowded around here. Kurogiro really went out to make sure you died, didn't he? So rude. You can't see the you can't see the enormous foreign standing not so far from you, from where you are. Shiraki right next to him, and you quickly step backwards. The Nomu is by far the biggest threat. Too fast to dodge, and more than strong enough to crush all your bones with a single blow. You can't get close to him. Your only hope in this situation is Aizawa sensei. He must be somewhere close. Oi! A female villain jeers at you. What are you standing there for, little girl? A weapon hits at your back, but you turn and look and block in midair. Your blade is heavy. You command the object to you, gripping in your hand. It's a dagger. Quite unoriginal. Still, it can be useful. So you have four. Now you have four knives. Leveling the villains down with your best glare, you drip the dagger and groan with a low voice. I'm a student of UA and have permission from my mentor to use my quirk. Do you really think you could take me out with this? Actually, the blow did get dangerously close to, to taking you out. But this isn't the time for the truth. This is the time to bluff. Game time. Think. In the meantime, you keep your eyes locked on the shadows of many people as you're possibly biding time for the right moment. Do you seriously think you'll succeed? You sneer. We know all about you. We knew you guys were coming since yesterday, when your stupid boss broke into UA thinking nobody will notice him. So naive. You were done since the moment you've crossed the portal. As if! A guy clad in some kind of armor Seriously, what century does he come from? Billows in response. You're just lying. Really? Yuku. Then how do I know your portal name is Kurogiri? How do I know your voice is Shigaraki Tomura and your goal is to kill All Might? The villains stay silent, exchanging those glances and their undeniably deep in nervousness. You're counting on it. They're small fries. They simply follow in orders. They don't see the big picture. They don't understand you only told them the minimal information. Information Shigaraki himself soon will reveal to Aizawa, to Deku, to anyone nearby. Stupid girl. Another villain growls. It doesn't make sense. If you knew, why didn't you stop us? You show them a quiet, mocking smile, frame shaking as a gray sparklight is up in your eyes. Do you truly not understand? They let you come here because they knew I would be your. she's bluffing. They let you come here because they knew I would be your downfall. All of you will meet your demise here. A blood curdling laugh split about your lips. And you know what's the best part? This is just a practice for us. We'll just use training dummies to show our superiors that we deserve to stay in UA. Count this as an initiation of sorts for us. Your voice is led with poisonous sugar as you beckon from them forward to the fearless gesture. Come on, you thought. Be nice little puppets and follow your master's orders. Is not why you're here. Maybe if I kill enough of you, they'll even let me skip a year. Oh my god. You can't believe the sheer amount of absurdity you're spraying out of your mouth. You deserve a fucking Oscar. You're seriously convincing a bunch of hardened murderous adults that UA has a secret test which consists in killing villains. You did spin a possible tale lying on the top of the cherry of your crazed laughs, but still, a guy with just half of a brain would have attacked before you could finish the first sentences. Villains these days do too many monologues and let heroes just do it as much. I don't believe you, a woman shouts, but her voice is shaking. She doesn't look willing to attack you and prove her point. You're just saying these pathetic lies to save your sorry ass. You're about to go down with your ship and say anything like, actually, UA's initiation ceremony includes cannibalism too, so get ready to get boiled alive. But you feel a change on your back. Before you were before you were surrounded by villains on all sides. You periodically turned on the pret You periodically return all the pretense to show everyone your sadistic smile to check whether you risk being stabbed at the back. But now nobody's noticing because their eyes are fixed on you. But you're sure something is happening behind you. Someone is fighting. A familiar voice. He's arrived. Finally. You let out a breath of relief. Turning to the women who's still waiting for your reply, defiance and fear clearing your hair face. You let your expression smooth back into an effortless stoicism and bow your head. You're right. Although I didn't lie to save only my ass, I did it to save my whole body. The woman's mouth drops as a sudden change of attitude. Pointing at you, she shouts, Wait, just me you were just bluffing? But it was a nice bluff, wasn't it? One by one, the villain faces reddening in anger and shame. Feet spreading growls, hands gripping weapons, muted appendages shaking in fury. Why you? And Mumbarks looking at you. Your eyes set immediately on his shadow. He stopped midair. In a single second, he's still. Eyes gritting, nobody's going. It's like there's a blur of brown, and then his eyes, then his body is crashing against the pavement. Wrap up in a weapon you instantly recognize. Next moment, you're pushed backwards. A black cloud bag taking your side. Google cover eye turns to glare you at the fleeting glaze of scarlet. What the hell are you doing here, King? He explained. I told you to stay back. You refrain yourself from frowning from the unfairness of his scolding. Does he not realize it wasn't your choice at all? Does he think you recklessly rushed down on his pursuit, not heeding of his warnings? Is some misguided hopes to impress by showing off? Actually, that sounds like something you would do. Forgive me, Sensei. You bow your head for just a second, immediately raising up again to stare at the shadow of a villain and make him crash this headfirst into the ground. I was sent here by their portal. I saw a scops, capturing weapon flying as fast as lightning around his upper body. I guess none of you managed to escape then. Maybe Ida-san did. He's the only one who could. I didn't see him though. The portal sent me away first. Do you know whether someone else was caught with you? Are they all scattered in the plaza? I don't think so, but I can't be for sure. In canon, most of the class end up scattered. Although nobody was in the plaza with Isawa. But you aren't in canon anymore. Probably the classmate close to you the moment Kirigari warped you ended up in what? Or warped you away ended up taken. It's even likely Bakugo jumped in, like he did in the sludge, yet they aren't here. Kurogiri sent you in the plaza alone, so you could get killed. So you could get killed quicker. Why does he fear you this much? Is he worried about your connection with Shigaraki? You met once, and you were a toddler. Still, maybe Shigaraki didn't explain, and Kurogiri is not the time to take chances. But what about your classmates who weren't close to you, like Todoroki, Hagakure, Tsuyu, Yayorosu? Maybe they were caught like in canon. Or maybe not. Kurogiri probably still tried to scatter them around. He didn't just want them as dead as much as you. Whatever. I saw what says. I looked into the villains at once. Just stay behind me. You do. Trying to crush down the dizzy feeling of fighting back to back with a Razorhead. Oh my god! Because it's truly not the moment. You fix your eyes on the villains. A field warp under your merciless stare. For a fleeting second, you feel powerful. You grip every shadow you can sense and squeeze. Pointing groans erupt in the enemy's lips as they feel crushed under enormous pressure. You don't want to kill them, so you don't grip them as tight as you could. You destroy robots with that kind of strength. You just keep them still, letting their comrades advance, and then throw once against all the others, making villains stumble off each other. In the chaos, the first two lines of attackers have now become your set of eyes on the third one. Back, Aizawa turns briefly to check and arches his elbows upon the sign of villains groaning in pain, trying to untoggle themselves. Not bad, he huffs. But hadn't I told you to stay behind me? I am behind you, Sensei, you point out. Unfortunately, villains are also behind you. He deadpans at the clear sarcasm in your words. Just don't, just don't engage. I'm sorry, that's just such a silly response. I told you, didn't I told you to stay behind me? I am. Unfortunately, villains are also behind you. It's so funny. Oh, sorry. Uh, just don't engage in combat unless strictly necessary. He shoots you a warning glare. Don't get cheeky on me. And don't get cheeky on me, King. Oh, if you keep using that tone, I'll get the. Oh my god, she's simping so hard. Oh, if you can using that tone, I'll get a lot of other things with you. Oh my god. Of course, Sensei. The difference. He doesn't look convinced, as if the feeling, the dirty thoughts in your head, but feelings are advancing and he turns back to fight. You take a breath before doing the same. Fighting with Aizawa? Who cares if you die? You're already in heaven. With those responses, of course. You and Aizawa managed to hold your own around 15 minutes. Well, mainly it's Aizawa that holds his own, and you just throws people's shadows around and sweet personally. The strain is starting to get at you. You've never fought against this many people before. Their shadows feels heavier and heavier. Aizawa had clearly noticed, stepping closer to you during the fight. You like to imagine if he didn't wear his goggles, he would have been a worried look in his eyes. But that's just a wishful thinking. The villains are decreasing, he mutters, throwing you a quick glance as he slams another group of enemies to the ground. The moment there is a hole in their formation, I want you to take advantage and run away. You barely have the strength to nod. It's the most logical solution in the fight for a fight. You know it's out of your league, and you're a logical person out and through. Although the idea of leaving your teacher leaves a bad taste in your mouth, especially when you know what's about to come. But what can you change? For your big words, you're weak and naive. As if sensing the realization, Aizawa clears the way of his last remaining villains, and you can see clear as the day, Shiraki standing just a few steps in distance. He's muttering, mouth covered by a decayed hand, and you know he's counting the seconds. He's observing how long Eraserhead has keeping his eyes open before being forced to blink. The moment he has his answer, he'll attack. He'll disintegrate Aizawa's arm. That way is clear, Aizawa shouts, shoving you at his right. Go! You stumble, catching a glimpse of Izuku, Suyu, and Mineta peeking from their hiding spot. So that went like in canon, it seems. Turn into a Aizawa fleeing moment. Just a moment to tell yourself you see he's about to launch at Shigaraki. He will lose, and his limb will break with a sickening crashes. Wait! You scream. He turns about to defend you from wherever villain attack you, and a skull twists his features the moment he sees you're alone, looking at you with a deep worry. This is not the moment, King. Just gate to safety. Don't let him touch you, you insist. Your mind is a jumbled mess, and you barely know what you're saying anymore. Fuck. The tension is so thick. You're doing what you swore you'll never do, revealing information. But how can it make the situation worse than already it is? They know you have connection with villains. Kurogiri made sure of it. You will be questioned by the end of the day regardless of what you do. At least you'll have finally excuse to use your knowledge and help. What do you mean? Aizawa asked. Who can't? That guy. You point at Shigaraki, barely on the soles of his feet as an impatient child who has now stopped muttering and staring straight at you. His quirk, it has to do with disintegration. If he touches you with 5 fingers, he'll decay your skin, muscles, everything. How do you know this? Aizawa asked. Of course he does. That's a natural question. I'm I'm sorry, Sensei. You stammer. I'll explain when it ends. But until then, please trust me. He looks at you for a few seconds, gaze hidden behind his goggles, and you wonder why he should trust you. You don't have proof nor accountability. You're just a student he doesn't like, that he probably still as a stupid girl who's never grew up from her hero crush. But there's must be something in your eyes in the moment, something more than the little girl, something strong, wise, and fierce. Because he nods. I will be careful. Now go to your classmates, and all of you get out of here. You nod briskly. As you turn towards Izuku, he's been watching you all this time, and you know he would intervene for you and you would do for him. You try to keep a smile on your face. It's so ridiculous. But the moment Isawa trusted you, belonging dance in front of your eyes. Maybe this can go well. They trust you. If you explain a possible lie, they'll believe you. A raspy voice freezes you to the bone. Nah, Athena-chan. You stop walking. What are you doing? Telling your teacher about my quirk? No, this won't do. This won't do at all. I thought we were friends, Athena-chan. I thought we had a deal. Oh my god. Shaking like a leaf, you turn white, horrified eyes to Shigaraki's poisonous glare. He's stretching at his neck, teeth gritting and muscle tense. He stopped his advice towards Aizawa. The teacher held in response, staring at you in staring at your exchange with a shocked expression. It seems everyone, even the villains, stopped to listen in. You've been a very bad girl. Oh my god! Hiraki laughs slowly, a chilling sound that makes your heart beat like a scared rabbit. I guess we aren't friends then. I can't be friends with such rude little NPCs. She called us rude. He called us rude. You keep staring at him, mouth not forming words, and he stares back. He stops scratching his neck, taken by a sudden calmness, and draws his breath that relaxes his limb one by one. Somehow, that's even more terrifying than his anger. So unpredictable. Nomu, he calls. For a second, the world is still. Bring her to me. Then time moves. The monster towers over you with an outstretched hand. Somewhere behind you, Izuku screams your name. Shigaraki. So how do I go, girl? Very well, try to spend time alone with her. Got it. I'll kidnap her. Wait, no. No, no. Okay, I think I have time. I have time for one more. It's just I cannot leave it like that. Mm. Ah, I cannot leave it like that. I need to continue reading. Ah. Okay. Now this will be the last one. Or maybe not. I hope so. Ah, Chapter 27. Oh, wait. Fan arts. Oh, look at this. My books on 19. Going this. Oh, oh. Oh. We were like that. And this. That's so nice. Now, chapter 27. Shadows are mean, but Shigaraki is meaner. You are immeasurably grateful for your training with Bakugo. For a second, the Nomo appears in front of you. You stop thinking and only act. His monstrous hands is already grabbed around your waist that by the time you manage to react, and you're being raised by eye level. You don't doubt in another fraction of a second he'll be next to Shigaraki, and there won't be escape for you. You stare at his shadow and grip. The strain is unlike anything you ever felt. The Nomu is strong, impossibly strong, and fatigue is weighing deep into your bones. You almost can't believe you're doing it, but you force your finger to open one by one, slowly and laboriously, and the Nomu is made to imitate you. The moment his grip loosens, you fall to the ground. You can't get up, legs trembling in the strains of keeping you crouched. Everything you can do is stare at the Nomu's shadow, and feel all the strain leave you as his enormous might sapped it away. How long will you manage to keep him still? You give yourself a minute at most. Since you can't take your eyes off the Nomu's shadow, you sharpen your hearing to understand what's going on. The first thing you notice is that Aizawa and Shigaraki are fighting. Shigaraki muttering something in perverse delight, probably about his guesses on Aizawa's quirk, but maybe this time he's talking about you and saying all the grand things. Secondly, you hear Shizuku's voice. He seems to be having a heated discussion with the girl who calls him Midoriya-chan, Atsuisuyu. She must have stopped him from intervening, for as much as you're grateful he wanted to help you, you're also level-headed enough to know Aizawa acted for the best. You don't want you don't want to put your friends in danger. Although some help could some help could really come in handy right now. I know more. Shigaraki's voice reaches out like a tingling in your funeral bells. What's taking you so long? He pauses, observing the situation. You, kneeling on the ground, trembling in expression, eyes stubbornly fixed on the monster's shadow. Said master, said monster, letting out a blood-curdling groan that shrill noises as he tries to break free. Oi, oi. Shiraki sounds mocking and yet terribly cold at the same time. Are you seriously having trouble with a little girl, Nomu? Don't you see how hard she's shaking? She's weak. Just break her out of her control. That sentence ends in the ground at the sounds of fighting resume. Keep your eyes on your enemy. Aizawa voice stubbornly warns him. You're up against me right now. So cool, Eraserhead. Shiraki presses his heavy and his lips twisting a nightmarish smirk. So cool. But you had an unfair help. The little cheater told you for my quirk. You are both cheating. He tilts his head back to dodge Hisawa's attack, and he lets out a raspy laugh. Isn't that a villain's do? Your brain is growing shallow. Black spots dancing in front of your vision. A hysteric sob rises to the back of your throat. You can't do it. You'll lose control soon. Then you'll be completely powerless. If you continue instead, you risk losing your shadow. You can only imagine now what could go. What? How that would go. You can't just do it. Aizawa was still fighting Shigaraki, and you doubt the villains will leave him time to help you. It's already struck a lot that your teacher can hold his own against both him and the random villains could still attack him. If he gets out of his without disintegrated arm, you'll be very happy. But you can't count on him for help, nor do you want to involve Izuku. Shiraki doesn't seem to aim to kill you, or he would have ordered Nomu to do so, but in canon he was always more too willing to kill Izuku, even before understanding the relationship between him and All Might. If you get involved him, he may die, and you'll never let it happen. So you're alone, like always in the end, alone in a foreign world. Just you and a power quickly fading. Power, a power. You have power, and what is made of? Shadows. Shadows? My shadow? You're not alone. You've never been. Not really. Not completely. You squeeze your eyes shut and turn out to the craving in your mind, sending you a desperate call for help. Please, if you're there, I need you. I need you or we'll all die. You won't accept a no for an answer this time. You won't let her ignore you at the cost of scratching your, your metaphorical throat, though. You'll force, you'll force her to listen. You helped me win the battle trials, didn't you? Because I was in danger. I am now too. More than ever. I need your help. Please work with me for this once. I know you're listening. I. Then an annoyed voice answers you back. So noisy, she whines, childishly and rude. What do you want? You stop for a second. The feeling of someone talking in your mind, being in your mind, is weird and itchy and violating. But you don't have the time to concentrate on that. He's always been there after all. You just never noticed. I. Are you my shadow? You ask, feeling as silly at the next moment. What else could she be? Of course I am, the voice answers. You have a distinct feeling, she's pouting. And are you sure? I know. And you are? I am. You frown. How can she not know that? I am you, the body, your body. Hmm. She huffs hastily. Figures. You're as boring as usual. Feeling really offended, you decided to disregard her clarity and sympathy for you and concentrate on one more important matters. You can have a heart-to-heart discussion later. Can you help me? You plead. Everyone is in danger. We would be so much powerful if you would work together. Hmm. She huffs again. You're gonna die if I don't? There is a very high chance, I think. Although you can't see her, you are sure she just rolled her eyes if you as if you were a child needing her help for the most mental task. You've talked with your shadow for a minute at most. She already sounds annoying. All right, she consents. But I want something in exchange. The elation which filled your chest quickly shrivels and dies. Of course she wants something in exchange. What is it? Oh, wait. Really? She sounded extremely surprised you accepted, as if she was expecting and left it without a plan. Well, I don't know right now. I'll tell you later, okay? Fucking no! That was the worst kind of deal. You want to know what you're getting into, but it's not like you have too much of a choice, do you? It's probably a trap, and yet you're falling right into it. For once, you'll have to worry about the consequences later. I accept. You take a deep breath. Please lend me your power. Your shadow sounds faintly pleasant as she purrs. As you wish. The moment you reopen your eyes, you have to blink for a good 5 seconds before your sight focuses again. At first, you think it's because the sun beams, but you soon realize it's not. It's something more. You can see more. The enormous shadows is really and buzzing with some kind of energy. A current dark as bright at the same time who curves you like a stream on all of his shadow to pull the places. His feet, his hands, and head. That's how I. No, sorry. That's how I see things. Your shadow voice rings out in your head. Pretty neat, right? Try to tamper with that energy. You'll like it. You don't stop to think. You've turned the logical side of your brain off since the start of the fighting. Fixing your eyes into the thrills of energy around the Nomu's right foot, you sink your hand inside and squeeze all that can fit into your palms. Then you teared. The Nomu holds in pain. The sound alone enough to make you stagger. You feel stronger though, less tired. Your shadow supporting you like an outer skeleton, so you manage to stand up. Never losing sight of the Nomu shadow, you keep tearing, tearing, and tearing. A furious satisfaction perks up in your chest, running through the veins like a poison of fire. You both keeping him still and hurting him at the same time, taking away all his chances to defend himself. Exactly like he did to you. Your analytical side takes over. You ponder on the potential and what you're going and what you're doing, and it makes you feel intoxicated. The first tear rings out in the silence like a nauseous crack, and then no more shrieks. His shadow has been cut off from his right foot. They wooded jagged and imprecise and incredibly painful looking. You'll have to get better. Maybe with training you'll be able to make a clean cut. The possibilities excite you. You're high on adrenaline and the pure feeling of dominating. All of you? Shigaraki's fierce scream breaks glass around your ears. Your ears. What are you doing? She's hurting my Nomu. Attack her! No! No! Someone shouts. A sudden battle screams makes you a jolt with a scramble backwards just in time to not get crushed. Eyes darting to the enemy, you see an anonymous villain swinging his axe with a murderous glare. Instinctively, you grip his shadow and throw him against the Nomu, hoping to block them both. Other villains are advancing too. 3. Stagger and beat up and still ready to fight. It would be fine if we just that. How can you fight him with keeping your eyes on the Nomu? King, get away! That must be Oisawa. You can look at him, but he's panting for exertion and probably fighting Shigaraki. Just run! That's a nice advice. A pity you can listen to it. If you can simply escape one of your sternly legs, they'll catch you. If you can seek refuge in Izuku's, you unleash the Nome on them, and you would rather not to have their blood on your hands. You'll have to fight. But before you can tear against the Nomu's shadow, deviating your worst enemy before taking care of the smaller fries, a swirl of black mist surrounds you, and all you see is darkness. Wait, what? Kurogiri? Kurogiri plows you back on the ground a moment later, and just a few feet of distance from your previous stance. You understand his plan as you whip your head and look out in the Nomu's shadow, and find he's not there anymore. You stop looking at him for barely a second, and he's free. It's over. You know you're doomed even before you're feeling his grab around your wrist, and he near tickles your neck, and a strand of black hair racing in the air. I don't remember, was it black hair or it was purple hair? A strand of hair racing in the air, then your vision is swimmy with tears as you feel your ribs protest under a crushing grip. Fuck. Doesn't the Nomu know about gentleness? Shiraki just told him to hang you over, not fucking smash your torso. Bill races in your back of your throat. You try to look at his shadow again, but the next moment, he's moving so fast your head spins. Coupled with the fatigue from fighting for the last half an hour, you feel absolutely shitty. Took a lot, Nomu. Shiraki muses, voice much closer than before. Was taking a girl really this difficult? Shigaraki Tomura. Kurogiri's voice also dangerously close, calls the villain to attention. I have bad news. A student has escaped. God, some good news at last. Ida managed to run. Help is on the way. You could cry of relief, although most part of you is focusing on breathing despite the excruciating pain in your abdomen. Shigaraki doesn't take the news well. He's staring furiously, scratching on his neck, threatening even Kurogiri himself, and you can glimpse a blur of black taking advantage of his distraction. It's Aizawa. A wave of relief washes you as you notice his arms are fine. He listened to your warning. Still, if he can't hear you now, you open your mouth and try to warn him, but everything that lives on your lip is a pain whiz. Shigaraki Tomura, Kurogiri's warnings rings in alarm, and Shigaraki dodges Aizawa's weapon just in time. Ah, fuck. He scoffs. Nomu, leave the girl and take care of him. No! You're probably dropped to the ground, hands and knees touching the bleeding. Fuck. Everything hurts. You hope nothing touches your lungs, or you'll have trouble coming. A pain scream makes your head in panic. Nomu is keeping Aizawa on the ground a few feet away from you. So close you can see everything. So much closer than in canon because he had come for you. And you can do absolutely nothing as he left arm benching a sickening crack. Shigaraku collapsed. No! You choke back a sob, staggering at your feet. Stubbornly, you can fix your eyes in the Nomu's shadow and try to tear apart. But instead of feeling him and beg under your power, the only thing that comes to you is pain. You scream. Your right foot is burning. Oh! Shadow voices hums in your mind. It seems like you reached your limit. You shouldn't have called me when you were already tired, silly. You're such a fuck. Please. Even thinking is painful now. Please don't escape. I can't deal with that right now. Ah, don't worry. For a moment, her voice feels sudden, like a fresh ointment applied on the wounds. Just my right foot got free. If you don't strain yourself anymore, I won't be able to run even if I want to. True to her world, you see that only his right foot several it links to her body. Shadow rolling the hip and shapely blackness. It fucking hurts. Ah, Shigaraki mocking voice. It's just at the final blow of your rapidly deteriorating calmness. Would you look at that? What has got you this hurt? Is it perhaps the fight in my Nomu took you all on you? Motherfucker. I don't know what you're talking about. You pant, giving a smile full of defiance. You must be seeing things, Yugoraki-san. He doesn't seem to answer well to your sarcasm. Grabbing your chin with a four-finger grip, you drown in the scarlet dark and menacing between the cracks of decaying fingers. But everything you can think of is that, good, as long as he's fucking on you, he can't order the Nomu to torture Aizawa. He doesn't seem to want to hurt you anyway. At least not that bad. Not as bad as broken mangled arms and a face slamming against the hard ground. Why are you with them? Shigaraki whispers, sounding curious is that that is that sick rotting weight of his, like a grotesque caricature of a child. Why are you playing that being a hero? I know you're not that naive. I could see it since the first time we met. You know how harsh the world is. You know things aren't this simple. You know a smile is worth nothing. Why are you pretending to be like them? His fingers dig into your skin. It's a bit shameful to admit, but you probably wouldn't be able to say it straight if it wasn't for his grip. You would spend the thought about your knives, but you wouldn't do this in the same condition you're right now. You're only making mad. You're wrong, Shigaraki-san. You grimace. I'm not pretending. I want to do good. I want to save people. You're wrong. No, okay? Saving? He spits venomously. You're just supporting the hypocrisy of this world. All Hero thinks about is fame and money. They don't care about people. In the society they created, nobody cares about anything beyond their own selfish desires. That is not true, you argue defiantly. All Might can't save everyone, but he genuinely cares about people. He became the symbol of peace so everyone could live their safer life. Crime rates in all Japan dropped thanks to him. And what about the others? Shigaraki grips standing painfully around your jaw. What about the others he didn't save? What about the forgotten, the outcast, the losers, the ones who quit with quirks that don't fit in? The society All Might created learned to shun them and ignore them. Nobody cares anymore. Shigaraki-san, you stare fearless in his eyes. His grip is so tight by now that talking hurts. Your foot burns, your muscles ache, everything is pain. Maybe that's why the next words you're so recklessly overstepping. I know you suffered. Shigaraki flinches, gritting his teeth. At the time, you didn't deserve it. It wasn't your fault. The world was unfair to you. That's undeniable. But this, what you're doing now, solves nothing. I understand your pain. Your words are cut out with a mainly whimper as Shigaraki grips crunches you violently forwards. You brush against the decaying skins of father, recoiling in disgust. You, Shigaraki hisses, understand nothing. Your breath hitches. But he's not wrong, is he? For as much as you experience more than you should have, you've never suffered a pain as deep as Shigaraki. Your family was alive in both of your lives. Still, as he once brings a hand to his neck, you let it out to fall the next moment. You feel a dreadful fear close to your throat. You want, like what's about to come. No, no, you don't understand, he mutters. His hands leaves your chain just to grip your hair, and you flinch at the pain. You can't understand. Maybe I overestimated you. You haven't truly seen how unfair this world can be. Yet. Not yet. His lips rise in a smile that seems genuine, and your chest feels contracted by fear. That's what you meant when you thought Shigaraki is too unpredictable for your tastes. You can't figure what's going on with that childish, hazy mind of his. For a second, you don't understand him. You can get oppose him. You can find him. You can't. Maybe, maybe you just need to see it for yourself, don't you? Shigaraki gives you a leering glance and turns forward. You follow his movement, eyes falling on Aizawa. His left arm is broken, but he's otherwise unharmed. You shoot a glance to Shigaraki, meeting for a glimpse of second his devious smile. And suddenly you know. You open your mouth to scream. No, he calls. Kill the teacher. No! No, 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 no! No, you cannot do that. No! For the next seconds are pure chaos. In the first fraction of an instant, the Nomo raises his hands to crush Aizawa's head, and you know there will be no going back from that. You lunge forward in a desperate attempt you yourself know is useless, and Shigaraki pulls harshly into your hair, dragging you back. Pain explodes at your scalp, only hiding the burning on your foot and ache on your body. Fuck. You scream again out of frustration or distress. You don't know. Either way, that seems to be the last straw for someone else watching the scene. In the second fraction of an instant, Izuku shoots forwards, eyes flashing with anger, punch ready to snap. The power of One for All is coursing through his veins, and he flies through, and the ground is millisecond. Shigaraki raises his crimson eyes without a friendly worry, just a touched curiosity of the crawling kid about to blast his head off with a punch. In the third fraction of an instant, Kurogiri comes in action, circling his ally in a black mist and making him disappear closer to Izuku, out of the way of his blow, 5 fingers stretch out of to graze his face. Oh my god, what is happening here? As the second instant comes to thick, you take a simple, stupidest decision of your life and fix your eyes on the shadow. You go for the Nomo first, before he can crash Aizawa's head. Not only you notice how Shigaraki is close to disintegrating Izuku, you're positive your heart stops as you realize you can't block both. You can't save both. They're going to die, and it'll be your fault because if you only weren't here, it would never happen. Then the entrance explode with a rage-beating boom. You stagger, eyes flying to the dust, and figure stepping through. For the first time, as far as you can remember, frowning rather than smiling, it doesn't change anything. Though, everyone raising her eyes with trembling smiles at his passage, feeling a weight of relief on their shoulders. It's incredibly how his simple presence can make you relax. Your heart soars with a hope as his voice seems to reach everyone at once. Don't worry, it's fine now, All Might shouts, because I am here. For the first time in these last days, you draw a sigh of relief. You, wow, I really hope Shigaraki won't say anything about your connection. Shigaraki every single time you're close. Hey, friend, buddy, pal, love of my life. Remember that moment we shared literally yesterday in the corner of your school? Because we have a secret connection you don't want anybody to know about? Yep, exactly. Why don't we illustrate in detail now that happened? I made a PowerPoint presentation. That's so stupid. Okay, so he's coming back. You made me worry really too fast. Okay, no, okay, yeah. I'm going to end this. Okay, 28. Okay, 28 chapter. Okay, so I'm going to end it here. Yeah, 28. It hurts me because I wanted to read. It's back. Let's see. Let's see the fan art and let's call it a day. Oh, like this is amazing. Like how people still try to draw. Why it's not working anymore? I don't know how many times this. No, I cannot see any more fan arts. No. Okay, so let me just get the music back on. And let this here. Let this a little here. Maybe this here. Perfect. Okay, guys. So this will be our stream for today. Thank you for the ones that have been watching this, that are not watching this, that are just subscribed, that are. Yeah. Thank you everyone for just being there. That's a important thing for us creators. You know we have our community supporting because I don't know why my streams are having views. Like why? But that's not the point. Then again, tomorrow, Sunday, I'll probably continue the story because I really want to read that part with Hawks. Hmm. So, with all that said and done, I'll be leaving you for the day. As always, if you wanted to continue reading at your own pace, the link are in the description below. For you for two my throat is hurt. Links are in the description below for you to support the original creator, Summer. Summer kisses from here, such a great writer. And with all that said and done, thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notifications because again, my schedules are getting torn apart in probably uh, probably tomorrow's stream and maybe the next Tuesday I will return to the schedule or maybe not. We'll never know. Anyways, that's all for me, for my part. Thank you again for being here, and we will be seeing each other the next time. Mwah. Bye.